At the opening of the memorial in April 2018, two women came up to me, the two women featured here, after the event, and they told me about their experience walking through the memorial. They shared the stories of their sons who were killed by gun violence in the streets of Chicago, and they shared the need for something to commemorate them and all the others dying of what you may know about is America's national epidemic of gun violence. I came back from the experience meeting there very transformed by this idea. Could it move the needle? Could we begin to change the narrative on gun violence if we had a space, a collection where we could come together and see our shared humanity, create a space for that necessary reflection, and alter the debate that we have in our country from polarity to proximity. Hank Willis Thomas, that same artist I mentioned, and a good friend, we spoke together and we agreed to think about it, and we began to work on this new memorial for victims of gun violence. Just to give you a sense of the crisis in America, it's a staggering crisis. There are almost 100 gun-related deaths in America per day. In 2019, the rate of gun deaths increased to this number, and it's been increasing every year. Since 2000, there's been a 19% increase in overall firearms deaths in the U.S., totaling over 35,000 lives lost in 2017. But these numbers, while powerful for shocking the public, shocking you or policymakers, are still abstract numbers. And they flatten these individuals into spreadsheets and points of data and endless polarized dialogue on cable television. As Pamela said, we only hear the numbers, but you never tie those to the names. I want you to see who my son was, and I want you to say his name. These numbers, another way to say it, have taken away their dignity. And among all the deaths, is the injustice of this epidemic treating so many human beings as expendable lives to fight over in the political arena. So the question emerged for us, how do we tell the story of the vastness of this epidemic without losing the beauty of the individual life? So for Pam and Annette, we thought about a grassroots movement, a campaign, where we would create a national conversation about gun violence, asking any victim, if they so choose, to reach out to us and to contribute an artifact. We'll send each person a glass box or have them come to us and give them a glass box. And in that box, they'll put this artifact of their loved one, a token, a memory, a talisman. We'd gather those artifacts, and then we would cast them into a glass brick for permanence. And we'd assemble all of those bricks and construct glass houses, these haunting structures of our hopes and our nightmares, structures that are vulnerable and fragile, but standing as beacons of memory and transformation, giving space to those numbers. In the end, the best we can hope is that the lives we lost are given some space that they deserve, and their numbers collected help us as a nation heal from one of our great injustices and one of our intractable epidemics. In this work, I'm not naive to imagine that memorials alone will end gun violence or lynching or genocide, but I have been convinced that without spatializing these figures, without giving them name and physical dimension, we cannot fully lay these burdens down, and we carry this loss from generation to generation through families. If we do not have the spaces to ritualize and to evoke the traumas we've experienced, we may fail to fully embed deep in our memory the tools to fight for the world we seek collectively to inhabit. This is why I believe architecture has a role to play in our collective fight for healing.